Hey, Patience here, talking about healing your inner empath. I am a young spiritual empath living in 2021, here to help others. So, one of my favorite people to follow regarding matters of healing yourself and dealing with others through dating or friendships is Stefan Speaks. And he talks often about a who hurt me list. And I combined that with my own spiritual healing progress and journey. And I just wanted to share with you why you need this, how it'll help you, and to do it intermittently, meaning at random times that you're going through hard times. Especially as an empath, we have moments where something will trigger, and anybody probably, but I can only speak from myself and the people that I talk to. Um, you'll have a moment where something will trigger a really sad reaction deep inside of you where you just feel hurt. And so you end up being snappy and grouchy for however long, hopefully shorter as time progresses, with the people around you who didn't do anything to hurt you, or maybe they did. Maybe they're on that list. Um, but either way, we're meant to live true to ourselves, not true to responding to how people treated us. So healing from that is integral. And it's hard to separate when you're still close to that person. But as distance is created, whether it's you who created it or them who created it, it's easier to heal from them. And so I want to talk about how to create a who hurt me list. The first thing to do is to make, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns on a lined piece of paper. And they should be labeled who, how, affects my, looks like, core, and heal. That's what I found works for me to really express what's going on inside and really have a cleansing time from it. And so on the who side, just go ahead and list whoever comes to mind on who hurt you. Even if you think you've already dealt with that, even if you think you've already forgiven them, or that you don't have a right to be hurt by that because it wasn't done to you directly. If it hurt you, go ahead and write them down. You may be surprised at who ends up on that list, but as you're going down, just go ahead and write them down. Now, on the next column where it says how, I want you to put a brief description of how it is they hurt you. Whether it was they left me, they gave me PTSD through something they did to me or that they did to somebody else. They betrayed me. Anything along those lines. Go ahead and write that down next to each name. Just take a moment to think about what it is each person did to you. And what you'll find is there's normally a trend, whether it's they lied to you or especially if you're going through a moment of feeling abandoned, your mind will naturally grab all the people who abandoned you in one form or another. So that's why it's important to do this intermittently when you go through those sad moments, if you have a minute to write down these things, because it'll help you cleanse, it'll help you find the root as well, where it started. And that's integral to healing, finding the root, finding where it's all coming from, why this is affecting you so much now, to where just not getting somebody to answer your calls is triggering abandonment issues, things of that sort. So go ahead and write down how it is that they hurt you. And then on the next column, affects my, I want you to write down what it was that hurt in you. So with abandonment issues, it affects my expectations going forward because I felt abandoned. A lot of the times that'll change our future perspectives on how things play out. That'll change our trust. That'll change. It'll cause you to be more detached in different areas. So go ahead and write down what that affects for you. If they're all expectations, trust, and detachment, or PTSD, or whatever it is, go ahead and write that down in the columns to the right of that. So in the fourth column, looks like, I want you to really see what it looks like on you while you are wearing that pain. When, for an example, when somebody I care about, that I'm working with, that I'm walking down a life path with, doesn't answer my phone call for a day or two. This affects my abandonment issues. I feel left. This affects my expectations and my detachment and my trust, all three actually. And what this looks like when those things are playing out inside of me is anger. Other issues that are going on, it may look needy. I may get angry and decide, you know what, you want to give me a day, I'll give you two. Or I may get extra needy and be begging and text, please just answer my call. Whatever it is you may say. And it may look like detachment. You may look aloof after that, like, oh, thanks for calling. I may myself get defensive, offensive as part of my defensive. I may start fighting forward instead of allowing myself to go through those and express it properly. I may throw it in their face. I may say, hey, listen, you ignored me, you don't respect me, you don't value me, because that's what I realize in myself that hurts, that affects. And instead of getting in touch with my core, that this affects my abandonment issues, this person doesn't have those issues, I do. I'm now projecting it on them, like, how dare you? That sort of reaction. What does it look like on you when you're going through that, when you're being hurt by that? A big part of healing is to know what it looks like when you're going through it, so that you can key in and be like, okay, when I have these angry outbursts where I become assertive and offensive, it's because I'm hurt and I'm protecting my inner self, my inner empath who's hurt and crying and remembering bad things. I'm now becoming offensive, and the end result isn't going to produce the effects that you want. You may want this person to show care and concern, but what you're doing is you're on the offensive, so you're causing them to become defensive and possibly offensive too, because like water tends to seek its own level. They may have those same coping mechanisms where they will also start lashing out and say, you know what, you're grumpy, you're negative, I don't want to talk to you either, even though inside they want that connection with you as well. And then after you finish your looks like column for each person, taking time to identify with each one, I want you to move on to your core column. What's really going on at your core? A lot of mine were fear and hurt. And fear usually is at the center of a lot of our issues. Even that hurt, it's just a repeated pain that a lot of times we allow to become compounded. And so once you finish with the core of what's going on for each of those sections, I want you to move over to the last column, which is heal. And these are more brief than they should be, but I want you to put down different things, a statement, to help you heal from that. And then later on, I want you to go through and pray over those statements and remember those people as well, that it's not them, even though they may be causing the pain from their own pain. It's not so much what they did, even though that triggers it in you. The only way to get properly and truly treated properly is to understand what's going on inside of yourself and be able to advocate for yourself in a respectful, loving way. And that's hard to do while you're going through it. So in the heal section, you may find statements like, I am love, I am strength, I am safe, I am secure, I am resilient, I am moving forward. That was for a loss of a friendship in the past. I am grown for childish behavior that hurt me with the friends of the past as well. I am woman, I am warm, I am wise, I am kind, or in a man's case, I am man. Go ahead and go through and write that brief statement so that when you recognize what those symptoms look like, when you feel that core activating of hurt and fear, you can say those statements over your life and help heal. And then take time to meditate or pray on those statements. Focus on the solution, not the problem. Until next time. Bye.